Watch out for needles and stuff. Seeing two people in here, so.
Edward, Tom, Charles, Henry,
We're all here again.
Well, I'm moving.
Okay, come out and chat with me a second.
Okay.
The first stop on the Heroin Highway
Okay, let's go walk the property.
is a garage sale.
All this stuff is easy to get rid of. It's easy to trade.
There's lawnmowers, an air conditioner, 1, 2, 3, 10 car stereos.
Where are they getting this stuff?
The victims are the true owners.
There's kids' bikes all over the place. I haven't seen one kid here.
Deputies think this is a giant garage sale of stolen property.
It's taken out of houses, out of garages.
$20 for one of these items buys a few days of heroin.
All that scrap that's in the back of that trailer, where'd it come from?
First time I've ever seen that.
It's a suspicious thing.
Small-time crime like this is twice as bad as it was just a couple years ago in Snohomish County.
You know, it ends up in places like this, unfortunately. Come to the door!
The Drug Task Force visits this house every other Thursday.
We met before here, right?
Deputies can give you the addresses of 100 more that are even worse.
Sounds like there's a ton of people in here.
They're neglected, abandoned, filthy.
It looks like human feces right there.
Used needles tossed around like peanut shells.
Sheriff's office, come to the door, please.
Deputies can't get the owners to clean up because they're in jail in another state, or the owner is a bank that just doesn't care.
What do you think's happening inside now?
Oh, they're all just waking up from sleeping off their heroin.
I just woke up. I'm going
Listen,
back to the house. We haven't done anything wrong. Nobody's called us.
Here's what you're doing wrong.
The heroin addicts live with no power, so they steal it from their neighbors. One man showed us this video from his backyard.
Here I noticed that there was a cord out one morning, and we unplugged it and tossed it back.
He says he caught the heroin addicts stealing his electricity with a 50-foot power cord.
It's never ending.
Neighbors have called 911 hundreds of times. At this house in Linwood, deputies have found stolen cars, wanted felons, and plenty of drugs.
Sheriff's office, we can't go do anything. But if we had better county ordinances that would allow us to, you know, shut this place down, board it up for 90 days, get the garbage out of here, those are ways to help. You know, we just don't have that right now. Any drug paraphernalia?
The victims of heroin don't live in this squalor. They live next door.
When I look out my window, I see that garbage.
Deputies also don't have anything to help Cindy Perkins.
Well, it's depressing. I just get in bed and cry every night.
Cindy is an innocent victim of heroin. She lives in a nice condo near a problem house.
They have no respect for anybody's property. They dump garbage in the back. They dump it over there. They dump it across the street. They dump it on our property in the back, and I've had it. I want somebody to do something.
The heroin addicts next door live in a place with no running water, so they steal it.
Like this, it unlocks it.
At least they did, until the condo put water spigots under lock and key.
Unscrew, and I can, get my water.
Cindy's called 911 about once a week for the last 3 years.
I've got copies of it.
We went next door to meet the neighbors.
House is under foreclosure. You guys are under borrowed time here, yeah.
Out back, we saw another heap of garbage, and lounging on the patio,
Is there needles back there?
another innocent victim of heroin.
So we've been waiting outside because we don't want to go inside
Why did you want to go inside?
because there's just a bunch of heroin addicts in there. I don't associate myself with them, so I stay out here. I just sit out here with the flies and sit in with them.
Austin Basham is 19 years old. Heroin is not stealing his water or his power.
She's the one that brought me into the world.
Heroin is stealing his mother.
Like you see all the garbage back here. That's probably the nicest place she's been in 6 months probably. I tell her a day and I want to do better, but it's something that she's gonna have to choose. It's not like something I can tell her. I've told her multiple times. I've tried to get into rehab multiple times. It's something I can't do. It's something she's gonna choose to do.
They don't care. When you have an addiction like that with heroin, your life goes from you care about yourself to you're just trying to get by, you're trying to get your next high because you don't want to get sick.
As bad as these houses are, the last stop on the heroin highway is the worst. The commander of the Drug Task Force, Lieutenant Rob Palmer, took us through a hole in the fence to a hole in the woods.
How you been? What happened to your face?
Got in a scuffle with somebody?
You all right? You need medical attention?
This campground is a dead end for many heroin addicts.
People who have no place else to go.
The commander comes to places like this because people like this have hit the very bottom.
For them, number one is drug.
They live with the rats. They are slowly killing themselves along with the land. They burn trash, car batteries, and printers.
Setting the woods on fire probably ain't the right way to go about that.
Toxins seeping into the soil, chemicals creeping into the air.
Every time it rains, that's just flushing out here into the ground.
Heroin's innocent victim here is the earth.
No fires. Even though it's green, it's supposed to go up like that.
Lieutenant Palmer showed up today to tell campers some bad news. Maybe it's good news.
It's going to be a 14-day notice.
The county is going to bulldoze the campground, kick everyone out. It'll be a huge cleanup.
It all stems from our heroin problem.
But only a small dent in the fight to help the helpless victims of heroin.
The homeless camp is about 100 yards back there in the woods. The commander says he's hoping to have all this cleaned up and bulldozed by July. That's also when he's going before the county council asking for more resources and more ordinances to help in this fight and to help the victims and also the addicts, like that man that you saw briefly living in that tent. That addict also told deputies something that people living in camps don't usually tell them. He's planning to get help. Lori?
So Dan, I do have a question about those houses. Is there any way the county can actually take over those houses and clean them out, raise them to the ground, just like they plan to do out there in the woods?
Lori, that's the biggest hurdle for the deputies and the whole task force, is that they can't go inside the houses and clean the garbage up or the needles themselves because they can't find whoever owns the house to give them the permission to do that. In some cases, the owner is in jail or they live in another state. They just don't care about the house. Some cases, the deputies can't even find who owns the house because of a very tangled up legal system and legal ownership. And then there are the cases where the homes are foreclosed, so a bank somewhere owns the house and the bank just isn't doing anything to clean it up. That's why that the commander is going before the county council asking for more ordinances so they can get more power just to go in and clean this up themselves.
Right, so we're looking for some government action. Thanks, Dan. Interesting story.